go live. Hi, everybody. Now we're welcoming Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Welcome to Dr. Wendy Welch's live stream, where I answer whatever you'd like me to answer in terms of love, sex, relationships, the science of relationships. Thank you for the nice compliments up there on Instagram. It's always nice to see. My kids might not agree with you, by the way, but it's nice for me to hear. Best way to deal with anticipatory anxiety in a relationship. Okay, so we all have a time at the beginning of a relationship where we feel nervous. We wonder if they will like us enough. We wonder if they're going to reciprocate the care that we have. But like any other kind of anxiety, you can try all those tricks. Deep breaths, don't have caffeine beforehand, tell yourself, have some positive self-talk that you are lovable and you deserve to be loved, and all the other tricks that you would use to calm yourself for any other kind of anxiety. Hi, Linda from Pasadena. Nice to see you. You're going to Joey, you're only going to be here for a bit and then you got to go. Okay, got it. If you have any questions, you are welcome to post them. Before people go, if you're moving in and out, I do want to say that this Sunday, the Dr. Wendy Walsh Show will be back on KFI AM 640. We missed last week because there was a new special. But I'm going to try something really interesting. If you have, that's a good question. When getting to know someone, top 5 questions to ask, hold that thought. If you have not followed me on TikTok yet, you need to, because you know what we're going to do? We're going to do the Dr. Wendy Walsh radio show this Sunday from 4 to 6 on TikTok live, as well as on KFI, on iHeart. So top question to ask when you're getting to know someone. So if it's a first date, I always say, if it's a guy, I always say, do you have a girlfriend? And when they say no, because it's a funny question if you're on a date, then I say, okay, let me ask you this. Is there anybody out there who would probably be hurt if they knew you're on this date with me right now? Might get a different answer. Ask people about the length of their previous relationships. You know, if somebody's like in their 30s and they haven't been with anybody even a calendar year, you got to wonder if their ability to commit and attach, right? I always ask real calmly. I don't say, tell me about your mother. I just say, tell me about your family and whatever. And if they say, well, my mother and I don't talk, that's a bad one. Because you know what that means? It's only a matter of time before he's treating you as bad as he treats his mother. So he's got to work out that stuff first. Akshay says he wants to defer intimacy. I assume you mean sexual intimacy in a relationship for 6 to 12 months in order to prolong the honeymoon phase. Is that good or bad? Research says yes. Friends first relationships tend to be more successful. So yeah. Hi, Lisa from Santa Barbara. Who else we got? Matt in Boise. Hi, how are you? Okay, red flags. Well, red flags are different for everybody, right? Depends who you are and what your triggers are. A red flag might be that somebody is 35 years old and says they've never had a relationship. You got to ask why. If they talk about their exes as being crazy, you really want to ask yourself, like, are the exes really crazy, or does this person not really understand their exes? Thank you, Jack, for saying the nice thing about my TikTok videos. And did he make or she make those exes crazy? Or do they just have a bad picker and they pick crazy people? And so why are they there with you? I don't know. That's a red flag for me. The books that I again recommended. Home Will Never Be the Same Again, about gray divorce. Stronger Than You Think, all based in science. The 10 blind spots that undermine your relationship and how to see past them. A great one. And my all-time favorite just came out by Dr. David Buss, When Men Behave Badly, The Hidden Roots of Sexual Deception, Harassment, and Assault. Those are the books that I'm reading this summer. Hi, Margaret from Tennessee. Nice to see you. There was another question, but it went by so fast. I forgot what it was. We were talking about other red flags. Well, if somebody doesn't ask you a lot of questions about you on the first or second date, and they're more busy selling and they don't seem interested in you, that's a red flag, right? Should your kids have a decision in you picking your significant other? Absolutely. I'm sorry, but when I was trying to date, when my kids were little, I'd say, I come as a 3-pack. You got to meet them. I didn't meet them early on, of course. I do believe that a revolving door of parental figures is the worst thing for kids. So you got to wait at least 6 months till you're serious. But definitely, thanks. I will check my DMs for that. Hi, Jeff from Phoenix. But your kids have a great gut instinct, and you may be filled with lust or whatever. But if your kids are saying to you, I don't like that person, there's probably a good reason, a really good reason. So I'd pay attention to them because they're little sponges. Oh, thank you. The thought stop explanation on Sundays. You listen to my radio. Thank you. In Panama City. So thought stopping is used by cognitive behavioral psychologists everywhere. And when you have critical voices inside your head left over from critical parents and critical teachers and coaches, or you just have low self-esteem, so you hear yourself inside your head go, oh, I'll never get that job, or they will never go out with me, then you need to stop those thoughts. And when you become aware of those thoughts, you need to replace them with a positive thought, like, I am lovable, or everything's going to be okay. What do I consider cheating nowadays? Well, cheating can be physical and it can be emotional. If you're having a lot of private messages on your social media with potential backup mates, that's emotional cheating, right? If you're in a monogamous relationship and you're committed with this person, then you shouldn't be keeping a whole bunch of backup mates. So yeah, that's cheating. And obviously seeing anyone, even if it's just, oh, it's just lunch, but you know their potential mate, that's cheating. Okay, what other questions? Who else we got coming in over here? Question from Lee 18. Love the 30-day love detox. That's one of my books that I wrote. Wondering how it works with long distance dating when you've met online. Should you wait 30 days after meeting in person? Yeah, the relationship only starts when you meet in person. Okay, that's really important. It's not a real relationship when you're just texting and talking. Trust me, because all you're really doing is dating your projections of who you think and wish that person is. Tell you a little about the last book. So Dr. David Buss is a world-renowned evolutionary psychologist. His book is called When Men Behave Badly. And he talks about the oldest conflict between the sexes. And the oldest conflict from evolutionary standpoint is that both sexes, or all sexes, want to invest the least amount in offspring. So men want to plant their seeds and dash. Women want to assess him, take more time to make sure he could potentially be a good mate. Even if you're not consciously thinking of having kids, by the way, your sexual psychology is wired for you to do that. And so he talks about how when the costs are low and the benefits are high, even good guys can become bad guys. Also, the science behind stalking, which is also an attachment disorder usually. Anyway, is it normal to go one day without talking to someone you've been dating for almost 2 months? Yes. And when you do talk to them, you go, hey, I missed you yesterday. That's all. Make them feel good when they call again. And then they'll want to call again. Thank you for calling me your favorite therapist. Always makes me feel good. What do you do when your significant other of 12 years says they are not interested in sex anymore and just want to enjoy life together? Well, you have every right to say that you would like to continue a sexual relationship with her. And so the two of you need to go to couples therapy, or you need to see a sex therapist. You need to start with your physician because there may be something physiological going on with him or her. So you've got to have this conversation going and decide how much the sexual relationship, how important it is to you. I am South Asian, betting arranged marriage. What if after marriage, I find the sex not good? So here's the thing, all relationship skills are skills more than luck, right? Relationships are so much more about skill than luck. And if you have a partner where you're going to be in it for the long run, then I hope you can have conversations about sex. And I hope you can learn to have a healthy sex life together, because it is possible. It really is. I'm trying to reload these comments. Sorry. They come, they go, they disappear. I'm able to get them. Any more questions on love, sex, relationships, dating? Oh, I can't see it left. Find you a wonderful, amazing, mature man. What? I can't see it. I can't read it. It's gone. On Instagram, they move by so fast. How many is too many sex partners? Well, we have the widest range of sexual behavior of any primate species. I will say that. I'm going to put Margaret up because it gives more room here. And so do you mean multiple sex partners at the same moment in bed? Do you mean dating a few people? Or do you mean lifetime accumulation? The average number of sexual partners for the average human being lifetime is 6, believe it or not. 6 total, right? The name of the second book again, please, is Stronger Than You Think. So I think the important thing isn't about numbers. It's about the quality of your relationships. It's about whether if you're being honest with people and they're being honest with you and you're not misleading anybody. Is it rude to ask my girlfriend to shave? No, but why don't you offer to shave her? That's sort of a nice, fun thing to do. How does one go about discussing hypersexual and cheating behavior with someone who has deep maternal, paternal wounds, very avoidant, or just any tips on how to? That's a really good question. So the answer is you can't. You can only talk about your reaction to their avoidant behaviors and decide whether you can tolerate it or not and suggest the person go into couples therapy with you. But if you're like, you need to fix yourself, they're just going to get defensive and move away. How important is penis size? Not very important at all. It's really not. The average penis is like 5.5 inches, I think. And most women have stronger clitoral orgasms than vaginal orgasms. And honestly, if any human in a relationship is reduced to one body part, that's not very healthy. He calls himself Old Dirty Dashers and says, hi, LaShawn from Arkansas, 46-year-old man, divorced 3 years. I don't know what I want in a relationship. How can I find out what I want? Well, that's pretty simple. You go on those dating apps and you go out with a few people. Be careful. There are a lot of hookers, catfishes, advertisement for porn. It's just how they're full. I mean, guys have told me horror stories of what they find on those dating apps. But do the careful assessment. Go out on a few dates in the real world. Don't start a long texting relationship. It could be a bot. You don't know. How to end a situationship nicely without hurting the other person. You know, the best gift you can give another person is honesty. And simply saying, I love you as a friend, and I'd love to stay friends with you if we can, but I want to end our sexual relationship. Just say it. Age groups. Should you date a broke man with a good heart? It depends what your bank account looks like. How important is money to your relationship, right? It's like saying, in the old days of full patriarchy, when men supported women, should you date a hot woman with no money? Right? Maybe your idea of a power man is a guy who can power a stroller. Just saying. One and only, she needs to see a doctor. That's an infection. Okay. What do I think about eye gazing with your partner? Well, there has been so much research to show that even two strangers staring into each other's eyes for 4 minutes can cause feelings of love. It's really good to eye gaze. It's the best thing. Suppose you don't need forever when you're in your 30s and both are established. Well, then have the conversation. Be honest, right? There's no one right way to be a human. There's no one right way to have a relationship. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm crying. It's not to do with you. I think it's makeup in it. What else we got? I'm not going to give advice on sexual physiology because I have a PhD in clinical psychology and I focus on attachment theory and the relationships that go along with a sexual relationship. I am not a sexologist. Yeah, 4 minutes. I'm not kidding you. Try it with somebody. 4 minutes. They put people in labs and had them stare for 4 minutes and then had them report feelings of love. What are my thoughts on this generation's interactions in relationship, given the culture leaning more towards swiping straight into a new relationship? Well, okay, I will say that the pathways may be different, but relationships haven't changed. In other words, they're always in the mating marketplace going to be people looking for short-term relationships mixed in with people looking for long-term relationships. And the assessment phase is trying to figure out if you're with, and by the way, the best way to get a short-term relationship, if you're looking for it, is to pretend you're looking for a long-term relationship. I mean, the research shows that the number one lie that men tell women in order to obtain sex is the words, I love you. So this is the game of early dating, trying to figure out what you are and what you want and what these partners are. One of the things I like about some of the dating apps is people are just damn honest. They'll just say, I'm just looking for a good time or a short time or whatever. Do guys get scared if they date a woman in her 30s and she talks future too soon? Absolutely. If he gets scared, yay, make him go away, go away. Seriously, when your eggs are about to hatch, the end of your fertility window is near, and you want to procreate, you need to lay that out on the first date. Here's how you're going to do it, though. You're not going to say, I'm into you, let's have a connection, or you my boyfriend. You're going to talk generally about your relationship goals. You're going to say, hey, so I've spent the last decade getting educated and building my career, and now is the time where I am going to be highly selective, and I'm going to choose a partner to have a family with. So if you don't think that having a family in the next couple of years is in your cards, then we should stay great friends. That kind of confidence people like, of all genders. Like hers, how do I learn to be monogamous? I need to say this, gentlemen. You know, the human body can be trained for anything. A sumo wrestler and a marathon runner have very different bodies because of training in different ways. The brain can be trained as well. And the only way to train for monogamy is to develop the muscles of monogamy by being monogamous. You don't do it by abstaining. You don't do it by having multiple partners. You practice being good at it. And you develop your fantasy life. People forget that a big part of monogamy is having a very active fantasy life in your head. And so many men have been desensitized from porn. So they can't even, it's like how navigation dumbed us down and we can't remember the streets in our own city anymore. In the same way, pornography has prevented some guys from being able to conjure up fresh, exciting thoughts. What are my thoughts on the rules book? Well, I didn't like the way it was designed to manipulate men so they'd have some anxiety about whether you were interested in them, and they would confuse that anxiety with feelings of love. But there is some wisdom in waiting and assessing and taking your time. How can you get out of your comfort zone when it comes to dating when you're into, oh, I'm sorry, it went so fast. I don't know what polyvagal theory is. I'll have to read up on that. Thank you for telling me. Okay, LaShawn says, I have a friend who is my best friend as long as I'm doing her a favor. I push for more and she tells me to get over it. How do I emotionally get away from her? I'm going to teach you a word that you need to learn. And that word is no. So whenever she calls you for something, you say no. You move away from her. You shouldn't be in a friendship with somebody who's not reciprocating. What else we got up here? Any more questions? There's a lot flying in today, aren't they? I'm trying to answer them so quickly. Boundaries. Yes, you're absolutely right. He needs to learn to have boundaries and not, because she's not the one twisting his arm and making him do all those favors. LaShawn, she's not making you do favors. You're volunteering because you're hoping, you're in love with hope that she's going to turn around and go, you know what? I'm going to offer this man sex. He's being so nice. It's not going to happen. She already told you it's not going to happen. So you need to move away and find somebody who would actually like your kindness. That's very important. Is it weird to be able to be attached without sex? I think I have anxious attachment. No, it's called love. You don't need sex to have attachment. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's anxious. It could be a good, healthy, secure attachment. How's that? Okay. I'll put your thank you up there, LaShawn. Why not? So I think I'm going to start cooking dinner now. So tonight I'm going to make a little roasted salmon, some mashed potatoes, and some sauteed spinach. Lots of butter on my mashed potatoes. I love that. I'll do one more question. I have a friend who is incapable of telling the truth. It's baffling. What would attachment theory say about such behavior? Well, I would want to know what the payoff, what the reward is for the lying, and that would tell me more. Thank you. Thank you. Where did I get my degree? By the way, here in a professional training school that's been around in Los Angeles since the 1960s, called California Graduate Institute. I am Canadian. I got my BA in journalism at Ryerson University in Toronto and my master's and PhD at California Graduate Institute. I teach at California State Channel Islands, and I teach in their psychology department. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go cook dinner. I love you all. Sunday, listen, everybody, seriously, I'm very serious about this. If you do not follow me on TikTok, you should, because on TikTok, we're going to do the Dr. Wendy Walsh radio show live on KFI AM 640, and we're also going to do it live on TikTok. Yeah, I'm going to actually have to put on video for my video makeup for my radio show, makeup on a Sunday. I don't normally do this. Anyway, come on Sunday, watch on TikTok, tell your friends, or listen on KFI. Glad to see you all. We'll see you Sunday. Bye.